Welcome to POPLAW Podcast. I'm your host, Desiree, and I'm still not your attorney. Focused on education, empowerment, and entertainment, POPLAW is a podcast where pop culture, business, entertainment, and law intersect. Join me as I explore cultural hot topics from a legal perspective and discuss the impact of some of the most compelling legal cases with industry experts. Joining me is someone who embodies Black excellence. We're joined by the brilliant Tope Ajala, Global Chief Inclusion and Impact Officer at Ogilvy and founder of Life to a T, to explore what happens when Black creativity gets co-opted, commodified, and sometimes legally challenged. Tope, welcome to POPLAW.
Thank you so much for having me.
I am so happy you are here.
I'm so excited to do this. I feel like it's been a long time coming.
A long time coming. I just want to say how much of a trooper you are.
Aww.
Fresh off a flight from London. How long is that flight from London to LA?
Direct, it's 11 hours. We had 4 hours worth of delays. So it was a 16-hour flight. A 16-hour flight.
Well, I appreciate you being here. We are going to talk about some important topics.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about you, and it is not an easy topic, but I know you are the perfect person to handle it. So thank you for showing up.
Anytime. I will always be here whenever you call.
Thank you. Today we are unpacking what it means to own your image, your voice, and your impact, while diving into the latest twist in the OMG Girlz and MGA Entertainment lawsuit over those LOL surprise dolls. The dolls may be cute, but the legal issues, not so much. While the lawsuit is important, the bigger issue is the ongoing battle to protect Black creativity in an industry that loves to imitate but rarely compensates. All right, the topic: cultural currency, creativity, ownership, and Black women's influence. But before we get into that, we got some POPLAW confessionals.
Okay, let's go.
All right, these are some rapid fire questions. First thing that come to your mind.
Okay.
Community impact or brand legacy?
Brand legacy.
Quiet influence or bold disruption?
Quiet influence.
Reclaim the narrative or rewrite the playbook?
Ooh. Ooh. Rewrite the playbook.
All right. Global impact or local transformation?
Global impact.
Soft life or spotlight?
Ooh. Soft life.
Power suit or power crystals?
Power suit.
Public statement or private shift?
Private shift.
Champagne toast or tea and intention?
I'm British. It's tea and intention.
Thank you for saying that, because I know people are going to be like, where is that accent? All right.
It's tea and...
Work trip or wellness retreat?
Wellness, absolute retreat.
That's funny because you are a workaholic.
I am, but in the soft life piece, I need to find wellness in the midst of the chaos. So it's balancing work, and I would never choose work over wellness.
I know. We'll talk about the shift.
Yes, so much has changed.
Cease and desist or call them out on IG Live?
I love these questions. Cease and desist.
Is that the real answer? Because you like to call people out on IG Live.
Yes, but there's people we can't call out on IG Live.
Okay,
so then it has to be a cease and desist.
Okay,
I wish I could call everyone out on IG Live. I wish I could.
Ownership or exposure?
Ownership.
Do it.
Exposure don't pay.
Wait, okay. What was the saying at your wedding? They got money? No.
Oh, you can't hide money?
You can't hide money. All Tope's friends are rich. Anytime somebody did something, you can't find money. So ownership or exposure, yes. That was a great answer. All right. Do it for the culture or do it for the check or both?
Both.
Okay. If the culture charged royalties, Oprah rich or Beyonce plus tax rich?
Oprah rich.
You know, this is the Beehive podcast.
And I'm a beehive.
I know.
I
know. All right, let's get into the facts of the case. In the groundbreaking lawsuit that mixed pop culture, fashion, and legal firepower, Tamika Tiny Harris and Clifford T.I. Harris, through their company Grand Hustle, sued toy giant MGA Entertainment, the makers of the LOL Surprise dolls. The claim that MGA copied the signature look and aesthetic of the OMG Girlz, a teen pop group founded by Tiny and once led by her daughter Sonique Pollins, without permission, without credit, or without compensation. The core legal claims included right of publicity, misappropriation of likeness, copyright and trademark infringement, unfair competition and false endorsement, cultural appropriation, and trade dress infringement. There have been several twists and turns in this case, several appeals with more appeals to come, but ultimately the court ruled in Tiny and T.I.'s favor. They got $71.4 million plus 3.972% interest.
Oh, wow.
So yes, that sounds like a large sum of money, which it is. I'm not taking that lightly. However, when you consider how much the company made off those LOL dolls, it might not be
fair.
That much, right? So for those who don't know, trade dress is a type of intellectual property that protects visual appearance and the overall aesthetic of a product or brand. Stay tuned for the breakdown where we will cover more about trade dress infringement and cultural appropriation. All right, now that we know a little bit more about aesthetic protection, let's talk more about you.
Oh.
Tope, your depth, international insight, and thoughtful approach to culture and influence is so unique that the OMG Girlz case is going to be used as a backdrop for something that's much more larger and important, the conversation about ownership, identity, and inclusion. The OMG Girlz lawsuit was about dolls, but beneath it, it was about the right to own one's image. My first question for you, how can women, especially Black women, reclaim ownership of how they are seen and represented in spaces that monetize their presence?
Oof, that's like 3 questions in one.
I know.
It's a shame that they even had to go through all of this, but what we keep finding and what we keep seeing is we don't own anything.
Yeah.
Right? So while we are culture shifters, we are brand ambassadors, Black women have been leading the charge for decades, we don't trademark anything.
Yeah.
We don't brand anything. We don't make it our own. We aren't the people that own it. And I think, what I would love to see more of, especially now, especially as we're, a lot more educated, we have access, is start owning your items, start owning your brand, trademark it. I think we've seen a skyrocket in trademarking. Or else someone else will steal it. If you don't own it, someone else will. Mm-hmm. And then you end up in court and you're going back and forth when you should have made it yours in the beginning. Right? There should be no room for error when it comes to your property, your brand, your image, your likeness, your aesthetic.
Yeah.
And I think we do often take it for granted that we are the cultural shifters.
Right, and everybody else capitalized off it, right?
Every single person.
I'm reminded of this bridal brand. I love their dresses, and I don't want to say their name. No, I'm not going to say it, but I was so mad. I love their dresses, by the way. But then they had a runway show one year, and all of the models were white. Tall, very skinny. They had buns.
I think I know who.
Some and high top knots, and then hoop earrings. And I was so mad because I'm like, one day when I have my big wedding, this is going to be the bridal company that I get my dress from. And I don't really comment on people's social media accounts, but I commented. So I was mad.
What'd you say?
I was like, y'all copying Black women. It ain't no Black models and all this. I said it in a more professional way, yeah. But when I tell you they DM me, people were going in on that. And their next runway show, they included Black models. Now, it wasn't the same aesthetic of the bun and the hoops, but I'm glad that they paid attention because I really want them to make my wedding dress.
Yeah, and I think, it's the question in the rapid fire. It's being able to call brands out.
Yeah.
I think we're seeing a rise of individuals and individual brands and influencers, etc., that are like, I want to be seen.
Yeah.
I want to be represented. I want to be reflected. Don't just take from us,
Right.
include us.
Absolutely.
And we don't see brands owning up to taking from culture as much as they should.
Right.
And I think as we start moving in the direction of whether we're calling people out, whether it's a cease and desist, it's important for brands to say, where does this originate from?
Right.
Who are the people that we should bring into the room and onto the table, versus we can do this by ourselves.
Right.
Like, we've seen that happen, and it will probably continue to happen. But what we also notice is a lack of authenticity.
Absolutely.
And the same way you saw that, you're just like, I'm not reflected in the image of these women.
Right.
And I want you to be my wedding company that
Yeah.
I use. And that's how brands lose on potential individuals who would have spent money with them.
Absolutely.
And that's my world, and that's some of
Yeah.
the things we do. Is how are you making sure you're connected to your audience in an
Absolutely.
authentic way, and not just stealing from them?
Yeah. And I don't think they DM me. I think they commented back because, people like to watch and sue these days. So,
but they made a shift.
Absolutely.
They made a
And I
shift.
was happy to see that change.
Are you still going to buy your wedding dress from there?
Well, hopefully they give it to me for free. So, as someone who helps companies navigate culture with clarity, what did the OMG Girlz case symbolize for you, not just legally, but emotionally and socially?
So when I saw it, it triggered me, unfortunately.
Okay.
But it triggered me because it was a moment where I realized, again, right, it's almost like a disappointment of why are we here again? And how many more scenarios are we going to see where we're not owning our own?
Right.
And I hope people take this case, like this is one of those cases where you walk away, and us as brands and as individuals, how are we making sure we can never be replicated?
Yeah, right.
How are we making sure that no one comes into the room and takes something we've built we put our blood, sweat and tears into,
Right.
and claiming it as their own? And, within the work that I do and every single day, it's making sure talent is credited. It's
Yeah.
making sure we know the origination of stuff. It's making sure that there is no room for error, where someone can say, hey, this is not uniquely ascribed to these individuals, these people, etc. And I just want people to learn better, because I'm going to say black women specifically, because that's what this is about. Black women, we shape so much,
Right.
but receive so little.
Yeah.
How do we change that narrative? Right.
Hopefully we can give people some tools on this episode, but I read your title and you said a little bit about the work that you do, but tell everyone what exactly you do, because it's really important work.
It is, and it's complex. So in my day job, I'm a inclusion and impact officer, and what that essentially looks like in this day and age is how do we ensure that businesses and brands and clients that we work with, for me, are not just culturally fluent, but understanding the nuances that exist as they target and market to certain demographic. That can be anything from, I'm trying to think of something everyone does or drinks without naming a client.
A soft drink, maybe?
A soft drink. So let's take Sprite, for example, which is under the Coca-Cola umbrella. It's making sure that if they are targeting a specific demographic, are you using people that demographic can see themselves in?
Right.
So now what you see in, let's use any of the drink brands, is you're going to see them use entertainers that you may relate to. They may use influencers. They might use academic people, but are you targeting the right people?
Right.
And that to me is really important, because, and I jokingly say this often to clients and teams, the same way you market in the US is not the same way you market in Asia.
Right.
And understanding that you have to culturally adapt to where you're marketing
Right.
is the make or break. And I don't want to keep using the Kylie Jenner?
Jenner, yeah.
Example. It wasn't Kylie, it was the other one. Who's the young girl?
One of the Kardashians?
One of the Jenners. One of the
Kendall,
kids.
Kylie?
Kendall.
Okay.
The Pepsi advert. And I
Yes,
think everyone
yeah,
remembers
Kendall.
the Pepsi advert that was catastrophic.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's now used often and frequently as what you don't do in advertising. It's not understanding the sensitivities. I always say there's something called like cultural sensitivity. It's understanding that, is this going to offend the same demographic I'm trying to market to?
Right.
Yes or no? And some of that work my team reviews, and we ensure that brands and clients aren't negatively impacting the same people they're trying to represent, because now I don't know who drinks Pepsi. Like I don't, I
Yeah.
really don't. But alienate a specific demographic by not targeting your advertising to them in the right way.
Yeah.
So part of what my team does from an inclusion and impact standpoint is, what is the impact on culture? What is the impact on society? What is the impact on our clients? And what is the impact on our bottom line and our revenue?
Yeah. Okay. And you see, or you all see that work is important to make sure
It's
that
everywhere.
the ads and campaigns that you're targeting is authentic, right?
Yeah.
So if culture drives the market, how do we shift from inspiration to investment? And what does equitable brand partnership actually look like?
This is something that I think brands are working towards in this day and age. I think authenticity in brands and working with the right individuals is actually what is making them more successful.
Okay.
So I think about what is your favorite brand?
I love Sephora. I can go to Sephora and get everything I need. I'm trying to learn how to do my own makeup, so I just be buying stuff.
And I think brands are starting to realize the importance of connecting with their audience in an authentic way. So what I love about Sephora as well, and Sephora didn't pay us for this ad.
Right.
What I love about Sephora is they understand their demographic. They understand that women want to connect with the brand themselves. They have the Sephora squad that everyone is really excited to look forward to. But what they intentionally do is they work with creators of all race, color, and creed. Right? Yeah. So I've seen Black Sephora squad members. I've seen people who sit within our LGBT community. I've seen people with spots, and every single definition of beauty, you find that within the Sephora squad. And what I love about Sephora as a brand as well is that they know that authenticity is literally what's driving their success.
Absolutely.
If you look at their strategy, authenticity is the number one factor.
Right. Connecting
with the people is the way. I think brands can do a better job of connecting with people.
Absolutely.
In an authentic, genuine way, because we see through it when it's not.
Absolutely.
And I think individuals can be brands too.
Yeah.
And that's the part that, I try and encourage everyone to understand, is that you are a brand. What do you represent?
Right.
How are you showing up? How are you trademarking your look, your aesthetic, your sound, your voice? If you think about very cute, very demure, very mindful, that was a moment, that was a movement, but we all attribute that to an individual. Right? To me, that person is the brand. And understanding that as, corporations that are brands, leveraging other brands like the individual in an authentic way drives and generates more revenue.
Absolutely. And by you saying that, I'm thinking of, again, Black people taking ownership of something that they create. I think it's Rob 49, and he has the song, and he says, "What the hell, what the hell?"
Yes,
I hope he trademarked those words.
I hope, if you're watching this, I hope you've trademarked it. I really do. But exactly, and even for, why am I forgetting her name? Our cutesy demure lady, love her.
I don't know, but that was a moment that
it was a moment, but it was a moment. But I think she trademarked it. I think I remember seeing comments in that season where people like, hey, trademark this, trademark this. So I hope she did.
Yeah.
But those are the moments that you realize that you are taking back ownership of what is yours. Therefore, you can get paid for it. Therefore, you're building generational wealth. Therefore, brands have to pay you to leverage it. It's an ecosystem of you generating wealth by just being authentically yourself, because that's what brands want. And
another fail of not trademarking, and it's something that he talks about all the time, is Birdman saying he wished they knew to trademark bling bling. Now it's generic, it's everywhere, but they created that, right? So when you create a word, make sure that you at least file the application to trademark.
Soldier Boy,
right? Yeah.
Soldier Boy, woo! Like, there's so many examples we have of, the Black community, and I don't know if any other community I fall within the Black community, where we are losing dollars because we don't understand the power of owning what's ours, and we're allowing brands to leverage it. We're allowing anyone to take it and recreate it and repackage it, and we aren't getting the dollars associated, and that is going to continue to be a problem if we don't know that we can.
Absolutely. And then the final example I'll give is Megan Thee Stallion and Hot Girl Summer. When she made the song, everyone started using it, saying it's a Hot Girl Summer, but she did go back and she trademarked that.
Good.
So that's why you don't see it everywhere anymore, because everybody got to pay her anytime they say it. But this is for commentary purposes, so we can say it here. No trademark infringement. But you know, Black women have always set the cultural tone, driven trends, influenced markets, and shaped global culture, but rarely got the royalties. From LOL dolls to fashion lines, we've seen brands monetize Black aesthetics like we have been talking about, while sidelining the originators. This even goes on to dance, TikTok trends, everything. Right? What is your take on how creatives can protect their IP, especially when culture is often communal?
How creators can protect their IP? This is a tough one. This is a tough one for several different reasons, because you almost have to make sure you're documenting your success.
Yeah.
I say this all the time.
Right.
If you document the things that you do, I know creators that have less than 5,000 followers,
Right.
that creators with 1 million followers are copying their work.
Right.
And people calling it out because they've been consistent in documenting their work and saying, actually, I did this back in 2018.
Yeah.
You're doing it in 2020. You follow me.
Right.
So you've seen it. So there's an element of, it's not about the size of your platform that actually matters. It's about how much you're documenting your successes and what you've done.
Yeah.
And that's one way to protect your IP.
Absolutely.
Right? It's making sure there are others around you in your community that know that this is something you've been doing. Like I always say to people, talk it.
Yes.
I don't know if we can swear on here, but talk your shit.
Go ahead.
Right? No one else is going to hype you up. No one else is going to validate the work you've done if they don't know you've done it.
Yeah. And I think that one of the barriers, and I want your opinion on the barriers that prevent our ownership, sometimes, particularly in our community, we don't want to tell people because
It's
you'll
fear.
steal my ideal,
Yeah.
you'll do this and that. But the more you say it, that's the timestamp that you need to show that you are the originator of this, right?
Yeah, it's there's cultural elements to
Right.
this too. It's the idea that you don't want people to see you failing.
Right.
Like failure is a big thing in our culture, where we are nervous of doing something wrong versus just doing it.
Right.
Just do it so someone knows you tried.
Yeah.
Do it happy, do it sad, do it stressed, but do it. And in our culture, we're taught to be silent, move in silence. I remember there was a whole season of move in silence. I'm like, how? No. You're not going to make money moving in silence. But I think we're realizing that the people who are the most uncomfortable are the ones that get further.
Yeah.
The people who do it regardless of what anyone thinks are the people that are doing it. And you mentioned something about community. The community does matter. I don't want us to forget, community push you forward.
Right.
I saw an article recently that said black women hype you up and they champion you. And then when you get into the rooms, you forget that black women were the people that got you there.
Right.
And that to me was really powerful, because it was a reminder that we champion and advocate for everyone who's championing and advocating for us.
Right.
So I say to black women and just black people in general, advocate for your community. If someone is doing something that you like a smidge, hype them up. Be their hype man. You never know if that person that started off really small is going to become the person that's really big. We've seen it with Lizzo.
Right.
Yeah. Lizzo's a great example of, she community, right? Yeah. We hyped her up. We got Lizzo the support advantage. She's exceptionally talented in what she does, because talent gets you further, actually. Community gets you far, talent gets you further. But as, people within culture, we have to understand that community matters, and we have to be okay being uncomfortable versus hiding and waiting until one day we're successful in silence.
And you can't do it alone. That silence notion is absolutely insane. And when I think about the biggest brands, most of the time I tell people, a lot of those are family-owned companies. Those are surnames.
Yeah.
When you look at Lamborghini, when you look at Walmart, these are family-owned companies that are big brands that you shop at every day that people do not think about. So bring your friends along and all work together. Don't nickel and dime and let me get this money off of you, do this. Now, people need to get paid, but sometimes it goes further to work together and then all eat in the end. Right?
I love that. I think it's okay to be vulnerable too.
Yeah.
I think vulnerability goes further. It's find people that trust your vision.
Right.
That believe in your vision and your mission and say, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. This is the runway I have. This is where I think this is going. And I need players on the field.
Right.
And then together we're all going to win.
Absolutely. So if a dog came out that looked suspiciously like Tope Ajala, big voice, big care, big presence, accent, what would your cease and desist say?
Run me my check. I've never thought about it, but if a dog did come out and it was exactly like me, it would be an immediate cease and desist.
Right.
Because we are the brand.
Yep.
We are the culture. We are unique in who we are. There's not that many people, I think, anyway, that looks or sounds like me, unless you're my sibling.
Right.
So unless my siblings are creating dolls. But that, again, is generational. It sits within the family. But jokes aside, it'll be an immediate cease and desist.
Right.
It's you have taken something that I'm public about online, that I talk about online, and you've turned it into something you benefit from.
Right.
And I don't, reach out to me, give me something.
Something,
Let's negotiate. If you like me that much, bring me into the room.
Absolutely. And we are not talking about exposure. Sometimes exposure can be good. There's levels. We have to admit that there are levels.
There are levels to exposure. Beyonce calling me, that's exposure. I'll come. I will be there, Beyonce. However, I do think we lean too heavily on exposure when we have the means to pay.
Yeah.
That to me is a challenge. And
or the brands, right?
The brands have the ability to pay. And as content creators, we both create content, we both have full-time jobs, we wear multiple hats. I'm sure you've seen the emails that's like, hey, we'll pay you in exposure. It takes time, it takes a team, it takes so much effort to help you deliver something successfully for your company and your brand.
Right.
Pay me.
And then I would just say, if someone has an opportunity for exposure and they don't have anything, ask for a minimum guarantee of impressions, a minimum guarantee of posts, and then maybe that can help. But, I would also ask for future opportunities that are paid, right? It's not just exposure, one hit wonder, and then move on, right?
Make sure it's equitable.
Absolutely.
Same with friendships. Just make sure it's equitable. You don't have to count the amount of time someone has paid for dinner.
Right.
Right? If they're in a season where they're up and they can afford it, great. If they're in a season where they're not, what does that relationship bring you? It cannot be a one-way street. And I think the same for exposure. I do think there'll be moments in your career, especially as you're starting up, where you will need that exposure. You do need to be exposed to those rooms. What are you doing in that room?
Right.
Right. And that to me should be the target. Are you in a room where you can collect 3 or 4 numbers that you can then potentially get paid opportunities for?
Right.
Or are you just enjoying the vibe of the room?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
You have to curate the room to work for you as well.
And I think that's something that people miss all the time. You may not have gotten paid to be there, but who did you get access to? What did you do while you were there, right?
Correct.
And then you capitalize off of that.
We have a story, but we won't share it. But similar situation, right? So, we've been in rooms where we've shared access to individuals, and it's created, profitable opportunities. But it's not about what we gain out of it. It's about making sure we're intentional about the rooms we're in, not for now, but for in the future.
Right.
Because I think that's something no one talks about. It's like, I want to profit now.
Right.
And it's like, no, build a brand now, profit later.
Yep. That's the word. All right. You've been open about setting boundaries.
Oh, God.
In your career, you use your platform to speak truth and uplift others. In a world that rewards silence, how do you stay grounded in your purpose?
I'm vulnerable. I think as a new mum, I've unlocked a level of no that I didn't think I ever had. I recently did a webinar talking about boundaries. And for me, boundaries, you've heard this before, but boundaries, they're not punishment, they're protection. Right? I'm protecting myself in a season where I don't have too much to give you. Emotionally, financially, it doesn't matter what the season is, but being vulnerable to your friends, to your family, to your colleagues, and saying, I'm always here when you need me. Right. I can't be here when you want me. I don't have the bandwidth to pour into you when I haven't poured into myself.
Absolutely.
And that to me has been a game changer in how I navigate the world, the different climates, the different seasons. I'm currently trying to protect myself, and you'll get the best version of me. I promise you'll get the best version of me once I've poured into me. But hang in there. This is the season that I'm in. Allow me to just advocate for myself and grow in the area that I need to grow for myself, it's not about you.
Yeah. And then people who don't respect that, then they
See
need
you
to
later.
exit, right?
Stage left.
we have a full topic about this, and we'll get to where you can find that in a second.
Yeah.
You've said your work sits at the intersection of identity, leadership, and wellness. And we touched a little bit on this. In an industry that is obsessed with visibility,
Ooh.
how do you protect your own image and peace? Because you're everywhere. Everywhere, literally. We talked about you just getting off the plane. You dropped a magazine article today.
Yeah, like back to back. How do I protect my peace? And, you know, being visible, I always say it's an honor, but understand what your visibility is meant to do.
Right.
My visibility is meant to empower. And that's the only lens in which I'm looking at it from. So, you know, whether I'm writing an article about how to navigate the working world as a mother, it's not about me. It's about the articles I wish I read and I wish I saw coming back into corporate America. But visibility is both a good thing and a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because it comes with criticism, and are you ready to be criticized? Is the work you're doing rooted in self or selflessness?
Yeah.
And to me, that's how I make the difference. It's what are the things that matter to me? Being here with you mattered to me.
Yeah.
And then I just say no. I told you I've learned how to say no more than I've ever said no.
You've come a long way with
I
that.
have. I used to say yes to everything, everything.
Yeah.
And now I say no more frequently. You know, I recently just went to London to see my parents for 2 days. For 2 days, because I needed grounding.
Right.
I was really exhausted. I was really burnt out. My friend had a baby. You just start prioritizing your life a little bit more. But I always say to people, it's great to have visibility, but understanding that these visible rooms that you're placed in is for impact over self.
I agree. We often hear secure the bag, but rarely do we read the fine print. What's a legal or business lesson that you wish more Black women in your industry knew earlier in their careers?
Tell your story. Tell your story. Don't let anyone write your story for you. I only just recently learned that in the last 2 years, because someone said to me, you're everywhere, you do a lot of stuff, I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I've not been documenting anything.
Yeah.
You know, as we talk about identity and protecting your IP and protecting who you are, your brand, you actually have to build it. So I always say to people, be a storyteller about the things you do. Let people understand that you were part of this project. You helped initiate this amazing thing that you may think is little, but it's made a difference in the world. And as I started documenting my successes a lot more, I started getting more phone calls. People started respecting my accolades. And it wasn't about their validation. It's about what my daughter gets to Google later down the line, right? What does she Google? What did her mum do? And she can literally type my name in and say, my mum advocated for women. My mum advocated for Black women. My mum advocated for equality. That to me matters way more than anything else. And that's been the shift. I know, I've changed. I've come a long way.
You have. Oh my gosh. Her daughter is so cute. Okay. There's a growing wave of executives moving into entrepreneurship and prioritizing rest. You created To a T to help high-performing women reconnect with their joy and power. How does rest and inner alignment help us better protect our outer influence?
Great. There's a power in the pause. I think we've all heard that before. And as, you know, one of the newer execs within my industry, I never saw what rest looked like.
Yeah.
I just saw executives burning out until they retired.
Right.
And I said, how do I make sure my work doesn't kill me? And again, having a child shifted my whole dynamic. And I realized that there is joy in the micro moments that you aren't creating.
Yeah.
So I'm the happiest I've been at work. I'm the happiest I've been in my personal life because I'm finding micro moments of joy and I'm documenting that to the world.
Yeah.
I'm telling the average person that, hey, you can put your hair in a scrunchie and go and pick up your child from school and then, you know, play tennis at lunchtime because you took a break from work.
Right.
Taking an hour for yourself is not going to burn the house down. And to me, it was really important to create life to a T, because how are we maximizing our life? How are we finding moments of joy? We haven't seen it. I think, again, culturally, we haven't. All we've seen is the OGs just work. And that to me was never how I wanted to live my life. It wasn't fulfilling.
Yeah.
So now I'm showing up better, healthier, happier, and I'm encouraging anyone out there, find micro moments of joy that's going to pour into you so you can pour into everyone else. I can only do this because I've poured into myself.
You have, and life to a T. Explain a little bit more about what that is.
So Life to a T is a movement.
Yeah.
It's a movement, it's a podcast. What I intentionally wanted to do was showcase that you didn't just have to do one thing. I think as individuals, we're multifaceted. We wear multiple hats.
Yeah.
And it was important for people to say, she can be in a boardroom and she can be on the beach.
Right.
It didn't have to be either or. And for the longest, I felt really ashamed of taking vacations from work. I didn't want anyone to know.
Yeah.
What do you mean you're taking time off? And it wasn't healthy, it wasn't sustainable. I burnt out, I ended up in hospital. And I said to myself and I said to my husband that we need to encourage everyone in our world to take some time out.
Right.
I want to see Black men live long, right? And they don't die of heart attacks. I want to see Black women thriving in all the complexities of who they are. Like, you can be a makeup girly and go to the office, right? You can be, you know, a content creator that loves fashion and you're also a lawyer.
Right.
It's okay to have multiple hats and maximizing your life. I don't think this life was intended for us to just do one thing. Right. Also, it takes 7 streams of income to be a multimillionaire.
Right.
So you do need multiple streams of income to be a multimillionaire, but you also need things that bring you joy that don't generate revenue.
Right.
I think that's also important to know. And in this new podcast series I've created, where I'm speaking to friends and people within my world, I'm asking them, how are you finding joy?
Right.
I have global superstars on the podcast. I have amazing lawyers, therapists who are giving tips and tricks into how to maximize your life.
Right.
And I think it's just time to have those conversations without feeling ashamed.
And I was lucky enough to be on Tope's podcast. I can't wait till it comes out. But when you asked me how I was finding time to find joy, it took me a while to answer the question. I really didn't know, and I had to think about it. And prior to us filming that, we have been trying to get together for probably a year.
Yep, a year.
We would do our little check-ins and social, but I hadn't seen you in so long. And then with us both saying we're going to be intentional about seeing our friends, this is what we're in June, July now. We're in May.
I've
seen you 3 times.
I've seen you 3 times.
That's a record.
3 times. That's a record. Because we also travel a lot.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. Intentionality goes further than the average person realizes. The conversation you think doesn't matter to you matters to the other person.
Right.
And I say community takes you further than anything else. You don't know who in your community needs you if you're not communicating or connecting with them in person.
Absolutely.
Like, I miss I want to touch you.
I know.
Right? I miss the in-person connectivity. And I think we can do a better job of cultivating a village than we've ever done.
It goes beyond the work events you bump into each other. And that's how we would see each other at work events.
All work
you're
events.
here, I'm here too.
This thing.
Right. But we went to the farmer's market.
Living our life.
We're
doing actual things that bring us joy. Picking up oranges with my kid and her seeing friends and family and just doing normal, regular routine.
Absolutely.
We're missing that in the hustle of life. And I want everyone to slow down.
We have to. So with that, how can we build spaces, whether it's digital, personal, professional, that honor both creativity and protect it?
I think there are so many ways. Digital, there's so many ways. We have to, however, protect what we consume, right? So I say that to mean, if you feel, one of the things I've done recently is I've joined like a tennis community because I wanted more people who play tennis. I can have people to play tennis with. We have to be intentional about the communities we join because we have to grow ourselves, right? Oftentimes we're just consuming stuff online, but now I have a tennis WhatsApp, a tennis Facebook group, like everything tennis related. That's the one part of my life that I let myself go completely.
Yeah.
So while you're building your online community, just make sure you're intentional about what are the skills I'm missing.
Right.
Do I want to learn more about law? Do I want to learn more about IP? Do I want to learn more about protecting my rights? Find that, the community groups are there.
Yeah.
I always say overconsume books. I read a book a week.
You do?
I read a book
How do
a
you
week.
find the time to do that?
On a plane.
Okay. Well, you are on a plane every week.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And I'm a quick reader.
Okay.
So on the plane, find moments where you can be still to pour back into you. But building community, I think, is going to be like fundamental.
Yeah.
Online, in person. There's local community. There's a walking group. There's I think there's Walk Good LA. There's so many walking communities now. And I always say walking is the best thing for your mental health. And then you get a slimmer waist as a result.
Okay, we love to be snatched. So we talked about, your shift in how you approach work and business and what success looks like to you now after the little one and life to a T. Is there anything else that has changed what success looks like for you these days?
Yeah, I still want the bag. I think it would be amiss not to say that as a Black woman, I think about generational wealth.
Yeah.
I think about what I leave for my child. I think about if anything was to happen to me, is there life insurance policy? There's so much about me, the brand now, that I take into consideration when I think about success.
Yeah.
Success for me isn't leaving the people I care about with nothing.
Right.
Success is building a foundation that people trust and respect. It's building community. And for me, success is in the things that we don't see.
Yeah.
We joke about this all the time. It's just like, I want to do nothing. And the ability to do nothing sometimes is actually success.
Absolutely.
And that's okay. We don't always have to hustle.
We do not.
But we also have to make sure we know there's a time for rest, there's a time to grind, and then there's a time to protect your brand, people.
Absolutely. And what business decision are you most proud of, and what do you still want to build?
So in my professional life, I developed a program for Black men.
Okay.
I think till today it's one of the most important pieces of work I did because it was selfless. I'm not a Black man. So for me to say, hey, we have a gap in advertising and we need to fill it with Black men.
You built this program at work? Mm-hmm. Okay.
I built the program at work. It was really expensive, so it required funding. It required me to sell it to the business. And now the program has gone global. It's in Brazil, it's in South Africa, it's in London. But again, it's finding things that add impact to the world. Now I've shifted that we have more Black men in our company as a result, in the industry, therefore, as a result. So for me, success, especially within the workplace, that might be the thing I'm most proud of because I wish it was something I was able to receive for myself years ago.
Okay.
I've created a ton of programs in my career, a program for women, a program for people with disability, mothers, and so on. But something about knowing that Black men needed support and they didn't know how to ask for it changed how I now see the work that I do because, again, it's not about me, it's about the impact I have on the world. Yeah. So yeah, I'm really excited about that piece of work.
All right, I'm excited too. We want our Black men to live a little bit longer, right?
We want our Black men to live longer and to be vulnerable enough to ask for help.
Absolutely. Tope, thank you for giving us permission to build thoughtfully, lead intentionally, and to protect what makes us powerful. You've reminded us that ownership is not just legal, it's personal. And the way we move in the world is our brand.
It is.
Where can people find you if they want to tap into the life of Tope, Life to a T?
Life to a T. So my handle is Life to a T across all social platforms, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. I think I'm on everything, Substack, all the things.
You write on Substack.
I'm everywhere.
You stay up on a plane. I go to sleep.
This is it. But yes, find me across the different platforms. DM me, message me. I'm super responsive, or someone within the team is really responsive. But thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited that we were able to do this. And I truly, truly, truly want Black women to reclaim the culture that we've been leading.
Me too. And that is why we are here, to give them the tools.
Yeah.
To everyone listening, do not let the world rent your brilliance for free. Your creativity, Your story, your image, it's all yours. And it's worthy of protection, care, and power. I'm Desiree Talley. I'm your host of POPLAW Podcast. That is a wrap on today's episode. Follow us at POPLAW Podcast on all socials, platforms, and our website. And if you learned something or just vibe with us, drop us a review, drop us some comments, some DMs. If it's something you want to hear us talk about, let us know. Until next time, protect your art, own your story, and keep it legal.